Okay, do we have power? Yes, we do. Good evening, all. Thank you for coming. Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-10, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising such notice in the Home News Tribune, the Asbury Park Press, the Board Office, the schools, and on Cablevision Channel 118, and Files Channel 24, and by filing such notice with the Township Clerk. This meeting was originally scheduled for Tuesday, February 17, 2015, and rescheduled due to inclement weather for Tuesday, February 24th. The board will take formal action on agenda items. In memoriam, the board acknowledges the death of Mary Gannon, librarian, Theodore Marcini, retired elementary school principal, Mary M. Halavan, paraprofessional, Dorothy Layton, retired teacher, and Lisa Torres. Would everybody please stand? Okay, can we do the pledge first? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would everybody please remain standing for a moment of silence? Thank you. Thank you.
The Old Bridge Township Board of Education acknowledges that the law of this state establishes that members of the public, including members of the board, have the right to record public board meetings using audio or video recording devices, provided that that act of recording does not interfere with the business of this public board meeting. Therefore, the board makes it known that any such recording is to be considered the private recording of the individual and in no manner represents the official record of this board. The board therefore takes no responsibility for such private recording and completely disavows any future use.
Thank you, Mr. Mara. Ms. Foster?
Okay, so the Code of Ethics for this month. Make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet individual needs of all children, regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, or social standing.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Mara?
Andriani. Borsili.
Here.
DePrima.
Here.
Ellis Foster.
Here?
Hopman.
Here.
Mongan.
Here.
Singh.
Here.
Weber. Sulikowski.
Here.
A quorum exists.
Okay, can I get a motion to approval of the minutes?
Mongan will move.
I'll second.
Mr. Mara? Any discussion? No? Mr. Mara?
Borsili.
Yes.
DePrima.
Yes.
Ellis Foster.
Yes.
Hopman.
Yes.
Mongan.
Yes.
Singh.
Yes.
Sulikowski.
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the addendum to the February 24th agenda?
Mongan will move.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay, we have our student representative over here.
You need to get a roll call on that. Accept the addendum. Roll call on that. You got a motion and a second. Now you need to-
Okay, Mr. Mara, roll call.
Borsili.
Yes.
DePrima.
Yes.
Ellis Foster.
Yes.
Hopman.
Yes.
Mongan.
Yes.
Singh.
Yes.
Sulikowski.
Yes,
A motion to accept the addendum passes.
thank you.
Mr. Sulikowski, there are administrative corrections. I'd just like to advise the public.
Okay, thank you.
There are 2 administrative corrections tonight to the agenda affecting Resolution Section 25, Supplies and Equipment. Copies of those administrative corrections are with the agenda. To the board members, anything on your agenda in yellow was not discussed at the draft agenda meeting and was on last week's canceled meeting agenda and has remained in yellow. It may be a little confusing tonight, so I'll explain it as we go through it. All items that are in blue are changes or additions from last week's agenda as a result of the cancellation of the meeting. For example, there were a number of items on the agenda where individuals were supposed to be rehired on February 18th. All those things had to be modified so that they're being hired on February 24th or 25th. And anything that is in green is an administrative correction. Thank you, Mr. Zilkowski.
Thank you. Okay, we have our student representative over here. It's all yours.
Okay. Our second annual freeze out, which was on Friday, raised over $8,600 for Special Olympics. It was followed by a basketball game assembly starring our varsity basketball team and our very own Project Unify, who came out with the win. The next day, our peer program participated in the polar plunge in Seaside. It was absolutely freezing. The talent show is tomorrow night and tickets are $5. It will be at 6:30. Battle of the Classes petitions are ready to be filled out and teams will be picked by class advisors. Battle of the Classes will be held on April 1st and 2nd. There will be a Disney parent meeting on March 5th, and the first official Disney meeting was held earlier this month, and seniors were assigned to their chaperones and flights. The Senior Scholarship website is open for seniors to apply for a chance to win a potential scholarship. The website is obhsscholarships.org. The Glass Slipper Boutique will be held Saturday, March 26th and Sunday the 29th from 11 to 4 each day in the EMGNC cafeteria. Prom dresses and accessories will be available for rent or purchase at little to no cost. Our OTC is coordinating with the Freedom Alliance Gifts from Home and is accepting donations in OBHS classes to support our troops and donate items needed. The junior class is going on its first ever trip to a Blue Claws game in May and is also hosting a circus in the Old Bridge High School gym, and you can order your tickets online at getcircustickets.com. The winter sports season is wrapping up, and while the spring season is quickly approaching. Hazem Miyawad won the 800 in the Meet of Champs. Hockey made it to the GMC finals, but sadly lost. 6 wrestlers advanced to regions this week, and Mike Gargano and Steven Adera won the district champions for the weight class. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Great job. Okay, we have some recognition over here, 2 items. Mr. Cittadino.
Thank you, Mr. Solikowski. At this time, I'd ask the principal from Carl Sandburg School, Dr. Simon, to please join us at the podium as we move the board to honor Sydney Adesso, 7th grade student at Carl Sandburg Middle School, for her first place award at Middlesex County Patriots Pen Essay Contest.
Good evening. Unfortunately, Sydney was not able to join us this evening, but we still wanted to be sure that we recognized her. Sydney Adesso is a 7th grade student at Carl Sandburg Middle School, and she participated with a number of Sandburg students in the Patriots Pen Essay Contest sponsored by the local VFW. She was the Middlesex County winner and represented Middlesex County at a state event in February. So we're very proud of her efforts. I just very briefly want to read one excerpt from her essay, which was Why I Appreciate American Veterans. I appreciate what our veterans have done for our country. It is up to us as citizens of the United States of America to ensure that our veterans are not only appreciated, but treated with the utmost respect. A simple gesture such as thank you for what you have done for our country is not a difficult task for anyone. I believe it would mean the world to a veteran to hear people say thank you. And I'm very proud also of the teachers, our 7th grade teaching team, in particular Kathy Fisher, who continuously encourages our students to participate in these types of events. So on behalf of Sydney and on behalf of Carl Sandburg Middle School, we congratulate her this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simon.
At this time, can we have Dr. Thomas Ferry please join us at the podium with the staff from Cheesequake Elementary School for this prestigious recognition. Move the board to recognize the students, the entire staff at Cheesequake Elementary School for outstanding academic achievement that resulted in the school's designation as a National Title I Distinguished School, one of only 2 schools in New Jersey that were honored this year by the Department of Education at the reception in Salt Lake City. And Dr. Ferry, as you'll say, is one of only 75 schools across the nation.
Okay, if I could ask the staff of Cheesequake to come up at this time while I give the brief speech and stand behind me, and we're going to try to just squeeze in behind me, and then we're going to all go up on stage.
Dr. Ferry, have them come on the stage so they can pose here for the picture anyway.
Okay, you can be on stage and I will join you. All right, good evening. It is an honor and brings me great pleasure to be standing beside, or I soon shall be beside, the teachers, paraprofessionals, secretary, nurse, and other staff of Cheesequake Elementary School to receive this special Board of Education recognition for our school's recognition as a National Title I Distinguished School. I thank the board, and I thank Central Administration for this special opportunity this evening. For those of you who are unaware, Title I schools are those schools throughout the country that have the highest percentage of free and reduced lunches. And federal Title I funding is designed to level the playing field for struggling students in these socioeconomically challenged schools, making possible such opportunities as additional interventionists, after-school supplemental instruction, and a summer supplemental instruction program. Cheesequake is one of approximately 56,000 such Title I schools throughout our country. Back in November, I completed a 20-page Title I Distinguished School application and submitted it to the NJDOE in the hopes that they would give consideration to our school's candidacy for this award. Every year, each state in our country can select only 2 schools for the award. In order to qualify, a school must be a Title I school and have a free and reduced lunch rate at or above 35%. But the other qualification is that a school must have impressive academic achievement and very high test scores on state assessments over the previous 2 school years, a feat that is typically very challenging for Title I schools to attain. During early January, I received a thrilling notification that the New Jersey Department of Education and National Title I Association selected Cheesequake Elementary School as one of 2 New Jersey schools to be honored as a National Title I Distinguished School for this year. The other school was Newark's Science Park High School, an award-winning magnet high school in Newark. The NJDOE provided Cheesequake with a $15,000 award for earning this distinction, and I was joined by a small team of representatives from Cheesequake and the district to attend the National Title I Conference in Utah earlier this month, attend the excellent workshops, and receive our school's award. Out of 56,000 Title I schools, we were one of only 75 Title I schools in the United States to receive this award, and as mentioned, one of 2 in New Jersey. A year ago, we were named the National Model School of Character due to the outstanding character education and school climate that we built together as a Cheesequake school community. I certainly believe the warm, inclusive school culture we foster every day provides the right atmosphere, a school climate primed for learning, one in which students can thrive not only socially and emotionally, but academically. But this second national award, the National Title I Distinguished School Award, has been bestowed upon us because of academic achievement. The students of Cheesequake earn this award for our school through their excellent state assessment scores that are a result of the students putting forth their best effort every day, their hard work with homework, their academic perseverance, their growth mindset, and the outstanding support our students receive from the parents. The main reason our students are thriving and soaring academically, and the main reason we've received this national award, is not because of me as the principal. The credit belongs to this extraordinary group of teachers, paraprofessionals, and support staff who stand beside me this evening and others who could not join us. In my mind, the success of my teachers and staff is because of 5 specific things they do extremely well. 1, these teachers have become increasingly skilled at using technology such as smartboards, iPads, Smart Exchange Lessons, BrainPop, Study Island, Khan Academy, and literally dozens of other apps, sites, and technology hardware throughout all hours of every day to transform the learning experience for students into one that is dynamic, meaningful, purposeful, exciting, and fun. 2, we've become experts in how to use assessment data, both from the state test and multiple other sources, to improve teaching and learning. We learn from data. We identify areas of student weakness and strengthen them. We identify our weaknesses on the grade level or teacher level and improve upon them. And this growth mindset has become contagious for our children. We know we don't have to be perfect, nor are expected to be perfect. Our students know that struggles and imperfections allow us to grow. 3, these teachers are extraordinarily well prepared and incredibly skilled at delivering instruction. Regardless of what day I pop into the classroom or walk by in the hallway, I see incredible lessons that make me smile every time. 4, these exemplary educators know how to connect with our students. The character education and school climate recognition that Cheesequake and many other district schools have now received is vitally important and well-deserved and is crucial for student academic growth. At Cheesequake, we have a 35% free reduced lunch rate, a 40% minority rate, and 1 in every 10 students is an ESL student. There are 18 different primary languages spoken in the homes of Cheesequake students. Yet all Cheesequake students face one similar outcome when they walk through the doors of Cheesequake. They are greeted by these caring educators who know how to connect with them, to make them feel at home, to make them feel equally valued regardless of their background or demographic, to make them feel not only safe but eager to share their ideas and to answer and ask questions in class. And these educators make them feel special and supported. These teachers are masters at human connection, and therefore their masterful instruction techniques are unusually effective. Finally, this entire staff is here tonight because they share the 5th and final thing in common: a commitment to excellence. Whether I'm talking about the secretary, nurse, paraprofessional, or teachers standing here with me, we all are committed to excellence. This group of educators and staff is bringing their A game every day. They are committed to not being average or just getting done what has to be done, but instead they bring the very best lessons and the very best experience to our Cheesequake students every day. To Cheesequake students watching at home right now, we are so incredibly proud of you. And to the Cheesequake staff, I often find myself saying that I wish my son went to our school, and I think that because of how extraordinary you are in the job that you do each and every day. Thank you for your excellence. The most exciting thing for us is not knowing that our students have earned test scores high enough to earn Cheesequake this national award. It is instead knowing that Cheesequake students watching at home, who amaze us every day with what they can already do, will be taking all that you have taught them into the future and will continue to succeed because of the foundation you have set for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ferry. Great job. And teachers, you're the best, okay? If you can't see the photographer can't see you. So everybody look this way. I want to thank all the teachers again, and I need a motion to approve recognition 1 and 2.
I'll move it.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Mr. Mara?
Porcelli,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
Mongan,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Solikowski.
Yes.
Motion to approve recognition passes.
Do we have a superintendent's report?
Mr.
Cittadino?
Solikowski, we have two items for discussion. One will be superintendent's report and then progress towards goals. I'm going to ask Dr. Hoker to deliver a portion of our superintendent's report.
Thank you and good evening, and I'm fortunate to follow Cheesequake School, who represents one of our schools of character. And while I hope that the word has spread, we have not had a formal meeting since receiving the news that Old Bridge Township Public Schools has received the recognition as a district of character. While this distinction is not easily attained, it comes in concert with an additional 4 elementary schools receiving the state designation: Miller, Carpenter, Shirah, and Grissom schools, bringing all 12 of our elementary schools to the designation of state school or national school of character. Also included is the Old Bridge High School receiving state school of character, and Carl Sandburg Middle School receiving honorable mention. Our district has an unprecedented 13 schools designated with the state distinction and an additional 5 with the national distinction. The district, our high school, along with 3 schools receiving state designation in 2014 and all of our elementary schools receiving the 2015 state designation, are being considered for national recognition. We're very excited to showcase our Old Bridge team spirit, our students, and our staff as the district site visit is scheduled for March 16th. It is the first site visit of our schools, and the high school and the elementary schools are also scheduled on separate days in March. It is an intense process. The site visitor that is coming for the district is coming for the high school and 3 additional elementary schools, and the remaining schools will have a separate visitation. During this time, they will meet with community members, staff, students. They will have unstructured observation time to see firsthand what's going on in our schools. They will ask to speak with particular individuals. We'll set up a schedule and may ask some of our staff and community members to come out during that time and sit with the site visitor to share what they see going on in Old Bridge. I'm confident that we have what it takes to gain the national recognition, and Cheesequake is our honorable designated school for the nation, and they really have set the stage along with all of our other schools receiving the prior designation. So congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Hoker. Mr. Cittadino?
All right, I have a brief message as we discuss progress towards goals. And in recent months and in recent weeks, a few things have come up that really I've become sensitive to as the leader of a school district, which I love. So I put together this message. I have been fortunate to spend nearly 20 years in a profession that I love. Some in this room will be able to boast that they've spent more years in education and some less, while many others in this forum have found a calling in other careers. I think it is fair to say that law enforcement and educators have been the most openly criticized profession in the past 10 years. The reasons for these criticisms are sometimes the same and often vastly different. My godfather, who proudly wore a shield as a New York City police officer for 30-plus years, mostly in the Bronx, used to say to me all the time that unless you strap on a vest to protect your own life, be careful of the criticism of what you don't know. As an educator who worked in the private sector first, I offer the same advice. While I will never, ever draw comparisons between the risks of both professions, I will advise those of you listening to become what has become an epidemic, in my opinion. A full-on assault of those who spend their lives educating children has become commonplace. While 99% of the public rigorously supports our staff and our schools, recently I have witnessed insensitive attacks. I know that the education profession isn't perfect, and at times we find that the career isn't for everyone, but that is true of all professions. In the last 2 years, educators in Old Bridge have successfully implemented 2 sweeping unfunded mandates in HIB and Achieve New Jersey, both of which carry tremendous amounts of time shifts away from children and more time on red tape. I'm not saying that either of these legislations are terrible. I'm saying that both were carried out with great success in Old Bridge due to the professionalism of staff at every level. At no time did this time shift negatively impact the students. In fact, our students in our schools have flourished during this period, making tremendous gains in standardized testing, AP honor roll, receiving national recognition as schools of character and as distinguished schools. Now we ready ourselves for a PARCC exam, a third unfunded mandate in a third year. The PARCC is a state-required assessment with unyielding time requirements and a direct correlation to teacher and principal evaluations. There will be glitches and breakdown in its maiden launch, that I know. But it will be successfully delivered because I have found that the team at Old Bridge Township Public Schools knows no other way and consistently answers the bell after every round. We have configured, we have trained, we have reconfigured, we created websites, we held informational sessions, performed practice runs ad nauseum to ensure the Old Bridge achieves its goal of successful implementation so that the children are not negatively impacted. I'm not saying that some of the frustrations you feel as parents are not valid. In fact, I applaud every parent who acts as an advocate for their child. I only ask that before you act on those frustrations with harmful social media rants and horrid voicemails, we act civil first. Reach out, ask for a meeting. If you don't want to go that route, call me. I would rather listen to you and your frustrations and work out a reasonable solution, and while I let teachers teach and leaders lead. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to move? Okay. Mr. Mara, is there any correspondence? Thank you. Special committee reports, do we have any? No? Thank you. Facilities use, can I get a motion to move facilities use? No?
I'll move it.
Okay, number 15, hearing of residents on agenda items only. Would anybody like to get up and speak? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Julia Davis, and I'm a 9th grader in the EMGNC. I'm on behalf of the school and as well as Carl Sandburg Middle School. As some of you may know, I'm known as the water bottle girl. And what that means is when I was in 7th grade, I had my braces on. Now that might seem like, okay, big deal, that doesn't mean anything. Sorry, I'm nervous. But what that means is that one of the school policies is that you can't have water bottles outside of the cafeteria because of the unknown substance policy. And with that said, because I had a water bottle in my locker, I was being constantly yelled at for having it in my locker and drinking it in the hallway. And after being yelled at enough and deciding that the rule wasn't entirely fair, I decided to go to the board and ask that we try and have water bottles allowed in the school, or maybe have some sort of alternative to drinking water inside the school. And after working with Mr. Maranzoli for about a year and a half, I now have a different idea known as Project H2O. Because of this project, I now have 4 or at least 5 chilled and filtered water fountains in Sandburg, and at least 1 in each elementary school in the district. I'm here to have my journey, as I do not plan on stopping. I plan on having all of Old Bridge done with chilled and filtered water fountains. I have emailed all the district principals to ask if I may have a copy of the school's map. Now, after I sent the email, I did realize that for security reasons, I was unable to obtain these maps. As for security reasons, I was not, sorry. But before I sent the emails, I actually did meet with one of our fundraiser teachers at the school, Miss Friel, and also met with school plumber. And I was told because of how some of the fountains are that chilled, because of how the piping is in some of the schools, they are not allowed to be chilled, depending on how the pipes run and what the janitor can do. With that being said, because they cannot be chilled, I would have to have access to how the schools are run piping-wise, and as well as how the school layout is planned. And I don't mind having a meeting with the plumber or the school principals one-on-one, talking about how we can help benefit the school. But I do know that because of how the money may be to get the water fountains, because they're a lot of money, that it may take a while to get money, but I do have a couple ideas of maybe doing a fundraiser. And I do believe personally that because of how Old Bridge has come together in the past, that it would definitely not be a problem trying to do a fundraiser to raise money for even just the filtered fountains, because I do know that that definitely can be done on each fountain. And I do know that one of the things that was brought up was maybe getting a sticker to put above the fountains that say that they're chilled or filtered. So yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you again, Ms. Davis, for being brave enough to come forward and express. Okay, well, you're still brave enough to come forward and express your ideas and your thoughts in a very receptible way. I sent you an email today. I don't know if you received it.
I got that right before I came to the meeting.
So just, I've assigned Mr. Mara as our school business administrator who oversees the maintenance division of our district to be your point person. You can email him, and I would suggest that's a great starting point for our first meeting with Mr. Mara, and I would assist in any way possible.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Anyone else? Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to move policy number 16?
We do not need a motion on that because it's a first reading.
Okay. Okay, curriculum. Can I get a motion to move curriculum? 1 through 8.
Mongan will move.
Thank you, Ms. Mongan.
Hopman will second.
Thank you, Ms. Hopp. Mr. Mara? Discussion? Mr. Mara?
Porcelli,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
Mongan,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Andriani, I'm sorry, Silikowski.
Yes.
Motions 1 through 8 pass.
Okay, I need a motion to move athletics 1 through 2.
I'll move it. 3?
3, I'm sorry. I didn't see the blue one.
Oh, yeah.
Single second.
Thank you. Mr. Mara? Any discussion? Mr. Mara?
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Hopman.
Yes.
Mongan,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Porcelli,
Yes.
Silikowski.
Yes.
Motions 1 through 3 pass.
Okay, I need a motion to move finance 1 through 8.
Mongan will move.
Thank you, Ms. Mongan.
Single second.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Any discussion?
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
Mongan,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Porcelli,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Silikowski.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 8 pass.
Okay, I need a motion to move non-certified personnel office 1, 2, and 3.
I'll move.
Mongan will move.
I'll
Thank
second.
you. Mr. Mara? Discussion. Mr. Mara?
Hopman,
Yes.
Mongan,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Porcelli,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Silikowski.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 3 pass.
Okay, I need a motion to move non-certified personnel other 1 through 10.
Mongan will move.
Thank you, Ms.
Single second.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Any discussion? Mr. Mara?
Mongan,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Porcelli,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
Silikowski.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 10 pass.
Okay, I need a motion to move non-certified personnel transportation number 1.
Skip certificated.
Oh, non-certificated personnel.
Go back to page 12, certificate.
Where?
Back to page 12. Keep going.
Okay, I missed that. Can I get a motion to move certificated personnel 1 through
1 through 10 and number 12 per the addendum.
1 through 10 and number 12, the addendum? Okay, I need a motion for that.
Mongan will move, but should the addendum be number 11?
It should be, but it's listed as number 12 on the addendum. It's okay to skip number 11 as long as it's clear on the record.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Mongan. Can I get a second?
Porcelli will second.
Thank you, Mr. Boselli. Any discussion? Mr. Mara?
Singh,
Yes.
Porcelli,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
Mongan,
Yes.
Silikowski.
Yes.
Motions 1 through 10 and number 12 pass.
Okay, how many numbers are 12? Okay, can I get a motion to move certified personnel 1 through? Certified? No, I didn't.
That's what we just did.
16.
Okay. Can I get a motion to move non-certified personnel transportation, number 1?
Hopman will move, not certificated personnel transportation.
Thank you, Ms. Hop. Can I get a second?
Mongan will second.
Thank you, Ms. Mongan. Mr. Mara? Any discussion? Mr. Mara?
Porcelli,
Yes.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster, Hopman,
Yes.
Mongan,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Silikowski.
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Okay, supplies, equipment, and services, 1 through 6. Can I get a motion to move 1 through 6?
Mongan will move.
Single second.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, Ms. Mongan. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question, Mr. Sulikowski.
Yes.
On number 4, that engineering service, that's just for like, to see what's going to go on, right? That's aside from the actual work that's going to be done.
No, the architect and the engineer will prepare the entire documentation for the project, prepare the bid specs, get all the approvals. It's all the preliminary work that has to be done in order to go out to bid for that project, and then they will provide management during the project until it's completed.
So that number is not actually part of the bigger number?
It is.
Oh, it is?
The number that's in the budget now includes this number.
Okay, thank you.
On number 5, I would just like to add where it says bid 15-100 contracted custodial services. I'd just like to add July 1st, 2015 to June 30th, 2016 there.
Thank you.
And can I just ask a question on that, number 5? And that includes all the materials also and supplies?
It includes all the custodial supplies that the district requires, yes.
Any other discussion on this? Thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Porcelli?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Hopman?
Yes.
Mongan?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Silikowski?
Yes.
Motions 1 through 6 pass.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to move transportation number 1?
Mongan will move.
Thank you, Ms. Mon.
Single second.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffman. Any discussion? Mr. Mara?
Porcelli?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Hopman?
Yes.
Mongan?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Silikowski?
Yes.
Resolution 1 passes.
Okay, miscellaneous, 1 through,
One by itself.
can I get a motion to move number 1 on miscellaneous?
Mongan will move.
Thank you, Ms. Mongan.
It's 1 through 10, is that correct? Oh, okay, just number 1, okay.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Mara?
Porcelli?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Hopman?
Yes.
Mongan?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Silikowski?
Yes.
Miscellaneous Resolution 1 passes.
Okay, can I get a motion to move 2 through 10 on miscellaneous?
Oh, yeah, I'll motion. Move it, I mean.
I need a motion to move it. Thank you, Ms. Kelly. And I need a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Solkowski,
Yes, any
I'd like
discussion
to-
on this?
I'd like to ask to separate number 8 for voting purposes, please.
Okay. So we're going to go to,
I'll just, I'll give a slight explanation. When I was first presented with the calendar, one of my first questions was regarding the fact that there was no long spring break, and administration did answer the question quite well. They did explain that it is very difficult to give a spring break in the month of March with the park examinations going on, and I completely agree with that. But then hearing some of the outcry of some of the community, and I know that there was a survey done, and it was basically split down the middle, 49% to 51%. It got me back to thinking about how important I feel, especially with the stress that's put on all of our staff and students at this time with the park, and I do believe that it will get better as time goes on, as we know what to expect with the park exam, that the park will begin to run smoothly and it will go off just well. But I just think that it is good to have a longer break for our staff and our students to be able to, as I've said before, recharge their batteries. So I've decided that I'm going to vote no on number 8.
okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to vote on 2 to 7 and 9 to 10, separate number 8, and that'll be a separate vote. Okay, can I get a motion to move 2 to 7 and 9 to 10?
You've got a motion and a second.
Okay, we got that? Okay, Mr. Mara?
Porcelli?
Yes.
DePrima?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Hopman?
Yes.
Mongan?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Silikowski?
Yes.
Okay, resolutions 2 through 7, 9, and 10 pass.
Okay, can I get a motion to move number 8?
You already have these, the motion.
It was
used.
separated,
Right.
okay. Any discussion, any further discussion on this?
Now, I would just like to say that I think over the last month and a half, because we had the council meeting, there was a lot of debate. I think the majority of it was in good spirits, and people had very good, valid points on both sides. And as I said in the last meeting, I think half the people like it and half don't, and that's exactly what happened. But I think having that time to let everyone get out their voice and talk about it, and for the administration to get out the details of why it was such a complex schedule to do, why it came out that way was good for us to do. And I know I talked to a lot of people, and it was split down the middle. And there was a good deal of people who said, you know, it's fine. They didn't have huge passion around it, and they were fine with it also. So I think, again, it did spark a lot of debate, which I thought was good. But at the end of the day, I think while it does not give that full week, I think from the educational perspective and from what our charge is as a board, it's the right calendar for at least next year, and hopefully it's not a precedent that we'll have to continue. But, so again, I just want to commend, I think the board, they did a good job in holding it and having the discussion, so.
Thank you, Ms. Foster.
Mr.
Thank you, Mr.
Sulikowski?
Borselli.
Mr. Sulikowski?
Any further discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Sulikowski, just, excuse me, in all fairness, since we did have the unprecedented survey, and even though it was a very, very slight margin, people, 51% did agree that they liked the proposed calendar. So just in case anybody was not aware of that.
Thank you. Being on both sides, being a school teacher for 36 years, I always appreciated that week off around the holidays. And I sympathize with all of you people that are looking forward to have that week off. But educationally speaking, you know, sitting on the other side now, I think it's more constructive to basically to see what's going to happen with the park exam and everything else, okay, before we move any further. This is 1 year, this is calendar for 1 year. It's not for life. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Mara.
Borsilli,
No.
DePrima,
Yes.
Ellis Foster,
Yes.
Hopman,
Yes.
Mongan,
Yes.
Singh,
Yes.
Sulikowski.
Yes,
Resolution number 8 passes.
thank you. Okay, hearing of residents on any items pertaining to the school system, on anything. Is there anybody who'd like to say anything? No? Thank you. Okay, old business. New business? Okay, we had some retirees. I'm going back in the agenda over here under certified personnel. Okay, page 12. We had 4 teachers that retired. Okay, Georgia Vesalio, Deborah Weck, Margaret Volisin, and Donna Sosa. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And we have a total of how many years? 29. David, how many years total? 112. I want to congratulate all of you, and I want to thank all of you for working for us for that many years.
Paraprofessionals.
We have one more, Camelia Tinney at Carl Sandburg with 25.5 years. Thank you. Okay, any other discussion from the board? Anybody like to say anything?
I'd just like to state one thing. I think it kind of coincides with some of what Mr. Cittadino mentioned earlier regarding some comments and so on social media. And I'm not on Facebook. I'm not a fan of Facebook. But I know that a lot of people are. My wife, for instance, really enjoys it and so on. And I think that there is definitely some great value there. But a lot of things do get posted on there. Most of it is not true. And I just invite those people to come on out and ask us questions or email us and so on. And one of the things that was brought to my attention by a number of people within the community was some postings regarding about the last meeting and the calendar, the fact that it was up for vote, and that there was no mention of it prior to that. And that's absolutely false, because all of our meetings are advertised, and they're all posted online. The agendas are on there, and all the details are on there. So the information is all out there. Some of the comments were saying to the fact that this Board of Ed is archaic because we advertise for the meetings in the newspaper, and some of the postings were saying, yeah, well, who reads a newspaper any longer? I don't think that we advertise in the newspaper because we think that that is absolutely the best avenue for advertising it. It's because we're mandated by lawyers. Is that correct, Mr. Parton? And I'm certain that there are people that do look still in the newspaper and look for that. So I do think that that is one good avenue. But we've reached out to many avenues. And one thing that we've challenged the administration with some time ago, particularly we started in the strategic planning meeting, was getting the word out there in more than just one venue. And I think the administration has done a fabulous job responding to that. Mr. Cittadino is on Twitter, as is Dr. Hoker, and most of the principals, and a lot of information is out there. A lot of it is promoting a lot of the great things that go on in this district, but it's also advertising. I know Mr. Cittadino regularly posts when the meetings are, some of the committee meetings and so on. And I think Twitter is a great avenue because he can post it out there and it doesn't become such the forum that something like Facebook would become, where people would start to comment and then respond to each other's comments and so on. So I think that Twitter is a great avenue. I know he posts the meetings and so on the marquee board out on 516. So there's a lot of ways that we get the information out there. And in addition, for those that can't make these meetings, or even if you're not at home, or even if you have DirecTV and you can't watch the meetings on TV, within a few days, all of these meetings are posted on the website. That was something else that this board has brought up that we wanted to get out there, and it's just something else that the administration has responded to in a positive manner, and they ensured that all of our meetings, the agenda meetings and so on, are on the web. So at your convenience, you can go on and watch them, and you can get that information as well.
Thank you, Mr. Borselli. Anyone else?
I'm sorry, I just want to thank, can I just say just a few things? I would like to commend the young woman who got up so eloquently and spoke earlier. I know you were nervous. I think it's amazing, and it goes to the quality of our students who see an issue and stand up and take some leadership and make a change. So I commend you. I think it's just a wonderful thing, and I know our students in general are exceptional. And I would like to commend also, I know the student president mentioned it about the freeze out on Saturday. So what would possess anybody to run into freezing cold water, but for charity is just commendable. It was the highest high school fundraiser. I'm not quite sure if you said, I know you said how much, but it's just amazing. So I'm just continue to be amazed by the people in the district, and Cheesequake, a phenomenal achievement. So it's just wonderful to see so many great things going on.
Thank you, Ms. Foster.
Mr. Sulikowski?
Yes.
Just to follow up on Mr. Borsilli's comments regarding committee meetings and advertising, and just to make the public more aware, no matter what happens in the school district, and a lot of great things are happening, the bottom line is the cost. And on Thursday, the district should be finding out its state aid for the next school year. And on next Tuesday, there is a committee of the whole finance meeting, which is open to the public at 8 o'clock. And anything, as you know, anything that happens, whether it's facilities, curriculum, anything that happens in the school district, the bottom line is the dollar. And the district will be having this meeting Tuesday, and according to Mr. Mara's calendar, we'll be adopting a tentative budget on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. So just if you haven't seen it in the paper or advertised, just to make you aware, these are important meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mulligan. Anyone else?
Mr. Solikowski, if I may, for
Oh,
one
wait, we
second.
still have a public comment from the public.
Here we go.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Robert Davis, and I heard you talking about how you advertise and get the word out to the community about when the meetings are and the things that go on around the town. We have the Swift Reach program, which I know you're a very big fan of, Mr. Cittadino. We get the messages all the time. Perhaps we can look at using that system to get the word out about the meetings and the times and the rescheduling as they have been throughout the season. It's here, it's ours to use, so maybe we could use that to get the message out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Going into closed session, and
I do want to just state one thing, and I try to use social media to not only to inform, but to also make connections with the staff and students and the community. And I recently posted, tongue-in-cheek, about not having to make a decision about closing during a Saturday snowstorm, and what a great relief that was to me. But I will say that, just because it's snowing on a Saturday or Sunday, doesn't mean there aren't people in this district hard at work making sure that we're open or that facilities are available. Just that day, as snow kept falling on Saturday, I was at my son's birthday party and the phone rings and it was Kevin from maintenance, and he's here tonight, so I wanted to recognize that he was out at the schools making sure they're available and open for different events, including the Special Olympics and so forth. So I want to thank him and his team for coming there. Even though when most people wouldn't brave that weather, you were here making sure the school was available for whoever needed to be here. So thank you very much, Kevin.
thank you, Mr. Citadino and Kevin. Okay, we're going to be going into closed session, so we're going to adjourn this.
Mr. Solikowski, what you need is a motion to go into exec session for a workers' compensation issue, an employee disciplinary issue, and a personnel organizational discussion. And I believe the board will not be coming out other than just to adjourn the board meeting, correct?
Yes, can I get a motion to go into closed session? Thank you.
Mongan will move.
And I'll second.
Thank you. Mr. Mara?
Porcelli? Yes. Prima?
Yes.
Ellis Foster?
Yes.
Hopman?
Yes.
Mongan?
Yes.
Singh?
Yes.
Solikowski?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for coming.